Hey all, and welcome. My name is Fruit Guru, and this is my first video of my new War of the Visions channel. Just a little disclaimer, I don't usually stream or make any videos, so I'm probably going to be a little bit amateurish at this going into it. Maybe over the next few weeks I'll get a little bit better. I don't really have the best equipment for it, so if sound's not great or video quality is a little lackluster, I apologize in advance. But with all that said, let's get into it. So the purpose of this video is I'm going to do an account overview of my War of the Visions progress to date. I've been playing since the global release. I didn't play JP servers. I didn't actually even know about the game until I ran a Google search for new gacha games. I saw this one hadn't actually come out yet for global. Typically when I play gacha games I get in very late, so I really wanted to kind of get into something at day one and really commit to it. So yeah, I guess we'll take a look. We'll probably start with the units. If you have a look straight away, you can see I'm a little bit of a meta slave. This is somewhat coincidence. I really like ranged units. You can see I was leveling Rairyuu at one point, but I actually skipped the Orlando banner because I went all in on Freda. At the time, I wasn't sure if I was going to 100% commit to the game or not, so doing both was out of the question with the resources I had. And then obviously later down the line I was lucky enough to pull Lucia. So I've got those two. I am mostly PvP focused. I've got the units to kind of do it, so I thought why not, and I enjoy it, particularly the live manual PvP. I get a great lot of fun out of that, probably because I'm winning a lot with these units at the moment. Probably be less fun if I didn't have them. But yeah, all in all, I'm enjoying that. So I've got my dual gunners here. I don't have everything perfected. If I go into Lucia here, I've got a dual gunner to 15, but I lack the resources to get ranger and monk up. So there's a little bit of min-maxing left there to do. Obviously, I have most of her useful abilities maxed at this point. Still a few I could get, but I haven't really had the need for them as of yet. If I go back, Freda's pretty much the same. Need to max out her jobs, a little bit of min-maxing there, nothing too big to gain stat-wise. I did mess her up actually, her auto, because I took the, what is it, supercharge or mega charge, Anyway, I took all the charge skills. I took everything on her. I didn't realise that it was going to be an issue at the time. To be honest with you, on the current guild map, it doesn't really affect me. She'll sometimes do a charge, but it'll kind of hit more often than not now. So I'm not too upset about it anyway. I do run them both as ranger. Obviously for sharpshoot, I come up against a lot of evasion teams. I come up against a lot of stuff that's going to kill me if it gets to me quick, so I guess the whole idea of ranger anyway is to try to pick them up, or try and pick them off before they absolutely smash me. In PvP, I use Ramza for Guild Wars. I use Ayaka for the arena, who I've just recently got to LB4, so that's why she's not maxed. I will be getting her to LB5 for her Trustmaster eventually, but it's not really a priority at the moment. I also have Phoebe maxed. I did this before I got a couple of lucky Ayaka pulls. And she was quite useful in the tower, so I don't regret maxing her. It's always nice to kind of have more options. And I did get Gafgarian and I did get Ishitola completely limit broken in their respective events. I haven't maxed Awakened them. I will be max awakening Gaff probably first, as there's a raid I believe that's coming up, or something or other, where I need a dark slasher. Yishitola, I will eventually max as well, but she's not a great priority. I think she's a fantastic unit to have, but yeah, I have a lot of damage units. I have a lot of healers, so she's not too high up in the priority. Mediana only level 72, which is embarrassing. I actually pulled her when I started, and she was great. I wanted to focus on my gunners, so I didn't get many shards for her. I didn't focus her, and it was only really when the tower came out this week I realised how important a unit she is. So she's getting my double hard quests every day at the moment, just to at least get her to LB4, which I'd be quite happy about. I think she's more than usable at that point. So yeah, that's a bit of a work in progress. Mont, of course, I have maxed as well. I think everybody should max Mont. He's fantastic. He has carried me through so much content. I didn't get Angle until very, very late in the day, and I don't really want to invest in him because a part of me really wants to get Warrior of Light down the line. So we'll see if the resources allow for it. If not, I'll probably work on Angle one day. So I guess the last thing here of any note is I pulled Frivia. I know there's a lot of controversy around her at the moment. I do acknowledge that her AI, specifically in White Mage, is short. It does need to be fixed. She's not casting full life. I'm sure you all know this by now. I love her as a unit, I have to say. My whole kind of use for her is going to be manual PvP. I knew exactly what I was getting into when I pulled her. I knew her skill sets, so her short range, yada yada yada, wasn't a big surprise to me. What I wanted was a really good kind of magic resist healer for the upcoming magic meta, which hopefully once her AI is fixed she'll be perfect for. Ayaka, there's going to be a lot of Medianas who are going to kind of one-shot her with her high fate and low resistance, or negative resistance to ice, I should say. So I just wanted something that was going to be a little bit more stable. I do like running healers in my comps. I find them incredibly frustrating and difficult to deal with when I'm fighting them, so yeah, I guess if you can't beat them, join them. So yeah, quite like her. I'm hoping to get her to LB5 for her Trustmaster. I'm not entirely sure if that's going to be feasible at this point. I've been pretty unlucky with getting her shards in the shop. I only need 125 left though, so it is doable. I might need to play the Whimsy game, which I said I'd never do, but never say never. As you can see, I need to get her faith a bit higher. There's a lot of work I need to do on her. Her jobs aren't particularly high. Her abilities I'm kind of getting up little bit by little bit. Esper Resonance, I originally had Shiva on her, but I'm actually switching to Siren for the slash resist. I'm going to make her as tanky as I can. And I guess, yeah, that covers that. I think she's going to be a really good unit. If she gets her weapon, and that's half decent and stuff, and when people actually start using her, as opposed to kind of naysaying before they've used her, I think there's going to be a lot of people who may not necessarily regret not pulling on her, but I think they're going to. I think in the upcoming Magic meta she's going to be useful. If she's not, that's tough luck for me. Many others, that's just how these things are. But we'll wait and see. So let's see. I guess next, what will we take a look at? We'll take a look at my. I don't really want to go to equipment. It's quite embarrassing. I'll do that last. I'll go into my Aspers. So because this is fresh BlueStacks install, I don't have my default. No, not filter. Dum dum dum. There we go. We'll do the old descending. There we go. Okay, so yeah, my Aspers, probably not the best in terms of levels. I've been quite lucky with what I've pulled, I feel. My Odin, of course, being PvP focused, is the highest of the levels. I generally use this on my Lucia, and I use tetrasulfate on my Frederica. The main reason for this is I didn't have tetrasulfate when I had Odin. I got him first, so I'd done the Esper resonance. I'm currently actually doing a lot of swapping around with my Espers, so I'm probably going to end up at one point getting tetrasulfate maxed on Lucia. Besides that, I have Shiva, which I only pulled very recently out of a free pull, one of those free pull tickets from the tower. And that it was going on Frievia, but probably partially level it as well. I also have her on my Mediana. So yeah, anyway, the rest kind of speaks for itself. I've got a lot of work to do with these. Ramu was my first Magic Esper, so that's why he's 2-starred and level 36. And I have a few other options for down the line, but as you all kind of know, the materials for these aren't too easy to get, so I generally try and focus 3 at a time, or so, well, 1 at a time in batches of 3. So that's that. Now, next I'll go into my vision cards. I probably don't have the best selection of these by any means, but it works for what I have. My highest is Frederica's Dream, obviously because I'm Gunners. Love this card. I was quite lucky, maybe not as lucky as some, as I'm only 2-star, but I did manage to get my Scion of House Bouvelet to 2-star. This is an incredibly useful card for PvP. I don't run into a lot of people who have it higher than me, so with the Agi on my Gunners, this tends to ensure that I go first, which is really important because the first thing I do is I sharpshoot, generally with twice, and take out whatever target is closest to me. Unless there's something like a Gilgamesh that I extremely fear, then I have to buff up and play it a little bit safer. But that's my rule of thumb anyway. This card is a godsend. And finally, Vow of Love maxed. A lot of these kind of MR cards I use for resistances during their appropriate metas. Sorry, that wasn't resistance. I should have linked Iron Giant there. Still a bit of work to do on these. I'm kind of struggling for materials. I think tomorrow we get a lot of pots for these, so I'm probably going to max out Iron Giant. And also a big priority for me with Frievia is going to be, ah yes, here we go, the Snow White Guard. Quite lucky to get this 3-star despite how long it's been out for. I don't think I pulled on its banner. I just got 2 of them the other day in one pull, so I have to level this up. I'm not using it just yet, but when I do, if I dumped everything into it right now, I could get it to level 52, and that's a decent chunk of resistance. Still not sure if the max HP down trade-off on Frievia is going to be a great thing, because she has a lot of base HP, so it's not like putting it on a Whisper, you know, where you're not actually losing that much. The loss here is quite substantial. My other option is, of course, to use Leona's Castle, just for the Spirit Resist and the Defense. I am not knowledgeable enough to know which of these is actually going to be better for me, so I think I'm going to have to do a bit of experimenting here. Maybe if any of you guys have an idea, you could let me know in the comments. Greatly appreciated. And that's about it. I have the Odin card. I only have it at 1-star. I'd love to get this to at least 2 stars, level 70, and basically stack up my unit attack res. Not too bothered about this part, it's nice, but the unit attack res is what I really, really want. Man-Eater, little bonus on top of that. So, with that said and done, let's have a look at the clown fiesta that is my equipment. I do not really like the equipment system in this game. It's a lot of work. I wrapped my head around it eventually when I wanted to do the Ragnarok. I have a few things that are respectable, I guess. I got my Ras Al Gheti for my Lucia up to 50. I'm quite proud of the rolls on it. 206 attack out of 207. The magic I don't really care for. Crit I can get another point in, but I still actually have two hammers that I can use. So I can max the attack and I can max the crit, which is all that really matters here. So I'll probably do that one day. It just feels like a little bit of a waste to get 1 point per hammer with the amount that I have right now. So, maybe one day. My Ragnarok +5, as you can see, I got a load of these because I couldn't make up my mind on what I wanted to craft. I was lucky enough to get this +5 magic for Ramza before I actually had the quality of life change to select the type, so there was a big hold your breath when I did that. But again, I have the magic maxed on it, the attack off by 1 point. HP doesn't really matter, I don't get HP from there. But again, I have 4 hammers I can use left, so I can max that HP, which I might do one day, and I can get 1 more point in the attack. So that's not too shabby. My other weapons are all shockingly terrible. I have no Golden Blade. I have level 1 Ice Brand from the bingo. This I'm going to have to work on. I don't think there's an Ice Brand quest or event coming up, so it's going to be a very slow process, probably for Fryevia. And I guess the most embarrassing thing is my Frederica. She is going to be using this Ras Al Gheti, which is going to be a Ras Al Gheti +3 with what I have at the moment, but she's currently actually only using I don't know where it's gone. Ah, yeah, here we go. A level 50 Capella +3. The stats are not optimized for it. I don't really rely on her for doing big chunks of raw damage. It's more so to finish off whatever Lucia hasn't killed or to apply status effects. So it's not super needed, but it would be nice. But you can only do so much unless you have all the time in the world, which unfortunately I don't. So that's out of that. That basically, I think, sums everything up for now anyway. I did manage to beat the tower with the units I have. Relatively easy. I think it took me 3 days. I probably could have done it in less if I'd realised that exiting the level would save my units. I made a lot of misplays. Sure, probably most of us did. But yeah, so that's my account. That's what I'm going to be working with when I'm doing these videos going forward. I think the next video you're going to see, if I can get Fryevia, however you pronounce her name, up a little bit more, I'll probably do something on her in manual PvP, mostly because, everybody's saying, oh, she's terrible, she's not good, she's bad, blah, 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 blah. I don't think she's going to be bad for everything. She's a niche character, kind of like Whisper, A lot of people don't like Whisper, but I've watched Cabbage, who's a very good YouTube War of the Visions video maker, very informative. And he makes a very good argument for why she's good, and he uses her in a lot of content, and it just shows, some characters, they require a little bit more effort to set up, but you can make them worth it. What I like about this game is that most characters are good in one way, shape or form, and you can use a lot of them for different things. So yeah, I guess with that said and done, I'm going to cut the video here. If you do want to kind of follow me on my journey and see what I have to say or whatnot, you can give me a like and a follow, the usual. But yeah, so hopefully talk to you all soon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.